John Muir influenced science and curiosity. As he stated in his book, The Yosemite, how interesting everything is. Every rock, mountain, stream, plant, lake, fawn, forest, garden, bird, beast, insect seems to call and invite us to come and learn of its history and relationship. John Muir influenced science and curiosity in his writing and throughout his actions. In his statement, it showed how he was paying very close attention to every detail, how nature is inviting people into the world to go look very closely. For example, these lichens right here, this can be around 1,000 years old. That's crazy. You never would think about these as you're stepping on these when you climb Sugarloaf. John Muir strongly influenced the modern passion for nature. Throughout his journeys, he came across many people. During these journeys, he overlooked their differences because they had this common passion for nature. In John Muir's time period, this was a very uncommon thing to do. So doing this, he set a good impression for the later things to come. Also, Muir's ability to overlook differences in a time period where that was uncommon helped build the foundation for today's explorers, being accepting of all people and even eager to meet new and different people with similar passions for nature. This idea sprung up the idea of conservationist and environmentalism. Muir had a very strong influence on environmentalism. He urged all people to go into nature because once they saw its beauty, they would want to preserve it. Muir strongly believed that getting people into nature was the first step to conservation. This belief plays an important role in modern-day environmentalism. With modern technology, there is a big movement to get kids into nature to form a bond with nature so that they will want to protect it later in life. This is a direct reflection of Muir's logic of environmentalism. This led to Muir wanting to save as much of nature as he could. Muir loved nature so much that he did everything in his power to make sure he could save some of it. Without Muir, environmentalism would not be the same. And without environmentalism, the earth would utterly be destroyed. Environmentalism plays a key role in today's life, as well as the quality of life. Because Muir was so passionate about nature, he strived to make sure it got preserved for his life and many centuries after. Muir not only helped to create a national park, he also helped to shape and inspire environmentalism today. John Muir's philosophy that if you go into nature and see its beauties, you will want to preserve it. This logic has worked on my own life. This year at Northern, I have gone to many places in nature that were very beautiful and inspired me to want to try to preserve the environment and help the environment. So in doing that, I decided to start a worm compost. This worm compost lets me compost all these fruits and vegetables that usually would have gone into a landfill and created methane and carbon dioxide, which is really bad for the environment. So I decided to start my own worm compost so I can compost all of these vegetables that don't get eaten by me or my friends. Here are some of my worms. They're trying to escape. I'll get some more. Now, some people think this is gross, but this is really helpful so we don't have to create food waste. And food waste is one of the worst, is part of the big reasons that landfills are bad. I like my worms. As a part of Muir's effort to help protect the beauties of nature, he took Teddy Roosevelt on a camping trip to show him the beauties of nature in the United States. Muir used this as an opportunity to show Roosevelt that nature needed protecting. From that, the idea and the legislation for national parks began. Muir could arguably be considered the reason the national parks got formed. Muir hated sheep herders, and as well as other people who destroyed nature or land for their own personal profit. During this camping trip with Teddy Roosevelt, Muir shared these ideas, and from that, the common enemy of Teddy Roosevelt and John Muir formed for sheep herders and people who destroyed public lands. That is why Teddy Roosevelt helped Muir, or went along with Muir's idea to form the national parks. Because the national parks got formed, adventurers today can now explore the untouched beauties of America, all thanks to John Muir. John Muir thought the mountains were neat, but I thought he was neater. Here we go. Are you ready for this?
Yep.
John Muir has been a very influential man in the United States of America's history of the outdoors, including influencing science, art, literature, conservation, curiosity, acceptance of all people, modern-day exploration, and the formation of the national parks. This is just a short list of the things he has contributed to the U.S. He has made many other valuable contributions to this country throughout his lifespan. John Muir may have been a simple man, but his impact was extraordinary. The clearest way into the universe is through the forest wilderness. The power of imagination makes us infinite. When we pick out anything by itself, we find it's hitched to everything else in the universe. Between every two pine trees is a doorway to a new world. I only went for a walk and finally concluded to stay out until sundown. For going out, I found I was really going in. How glorious a greeting the sun gives the mountains. In every walk with nature, one receives far more than he seeks.
I like trees.